How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm here today with another review for you, and this time it is on the Stormy Tide album by AKA Funeral. Now, if you don't know who AKA Funeral is, they are a second wave black metal band from Brazil. Started roughly 2014 and going till today. They do have some thrash elements for sure in there, so if you like second wave black metal with a little bit of thrash and some melody, then definitely check these guys out. But yes, the members of this band, there's only three of them. That's Algol, guitar and vocals, Diego Vaz on bass, and Hector Grave Violator on drums. Now, I was sent this album courtesy of Algol, the guitarist and vocalist of this band, to check out and whatnot after discovering them on YouTube and saying a few nice things to them on their page, and he just reached out and decided to send me a free copy of this out of the goodness of his heart. So I really appreciate that. Really cool stuff. And after hearing this review, you can see why, or you'll see why I'm glad to have this. So here we go. Now the vocals, they're venomous and raspy as they should be for black metal. They've got lots of bite and aggression, very well executed. Didn't seem too strained or like he was having trouble doing it. It was very grim and commanding as well. Nice level in the mix, not too high, not too low. The vocal tone was mid to semi-high range. It wasn't super high, but when he really let go and did some of his like blackened screams, they were quite on point. And he basically just makes his job sound effortless as a black metal vocalist. So kudos to you, Algol, on the vocal part. I am humbled and definitely jealous of your talent there. Same with the guitars. Some of the most searing and hellish riffs I've probably heard in a while. Great tone, good level in the mix. The dude is talented as fuck. He has some face-melting tremolos in there. He's got some really groovy solos, very kind of like soulful, and just really digs deep with where he goes in the solo range. Some of the riffs kind of remind me of Gorgoroth at times and Dark Funeral at times, but they're very unique still. It has like that old school kind of second wave black metal sound, but it also has like a modern twist to it. The riffs are just frosty, evil. Like I said, they're very creative and also pretty energetic. So another outstanding job in the guitar department. You definitely want to pay attention to what they're doing, because it's not just the run-of-the-mill thing, but it also sounds like it's done by a very seasoned guitar player in the black metal genre. Now the bass was a breath of fresh air in this case too. It makes my job easy, especially when it's as stand-outish as it was in this production and in this recording for Stormy Tide. It was deep, pounding, powerful bass. Once again, lots of flavor thrown in there. It doesn't just plunk along to what the guitar is doing. It really added to the sound for sure. Had a solid presence, and it made sure that it was a crucial part of the music. The bassist Diego Vaz, he has a masterful use of his instrument, and he definitely makes his parts seem very easy, even though I'm sure they weren't. He fits the spaces in between the guitar and the drums perfectly, and if this album didn't have a bass, it would feel greatly lacking. His bass performance really brings it up to the next level, so do not fire this guy. Diego Vaz is a great bass player. Now for the drumming, nothing short of excellent as well here. I noticed the unique little extras and bell ticks and ride stuff right away. Great variety in his drum performance. Solid, punchy kick drums, an excellent snare tone, because you know me, I can't stand when the snare sounds like shit. So good on picking up a nice snare sound for this recording. Felt right at home on his kit. To me, he seemed like he knew his way around his kit, like the back of his hand. The fills were confident and tight. There were some nicely laid blast beats in there, and there's as well as that, there's also a good performance of slow and fast drumming. It wasn't all just, you know, tear your face off speed, and it wasn't all just kind of slower, kind of not so energetic pieces either. He really knew how to bring talent to the slow parts and the fast parts. So kudos to the drummer, Hector Grave Violator. For my favorite tracks on this album, it definitely had to be number 1, Forged in Fire. It's the 5th track on this release. Really good guitar riffs. This is where I felt there's the most thrashy kind of riffs, so if you like that kind of stuff, definitely check out that song in particular. I'll be linking the entire album though in the description box below. The self-titled track, Stormy Tide, was also a standout track, not just being the very first track on the album, but it also, if it was anywhere else placed sequentially, it would still be a standout piece. And the last track as well, number 7, was very good. There's, I think, one of the more noticeable solos on that track, and just the overall composition and feeling from that song was just perfect. Love it. And yeah, so my overall thoughts on this album and band was some of the best modern black metal you'll probably hear in a long time. These guys are talented and feel like seasoned musicians. They show you right away that they mean business, and they're fast and ferocious brand of black metal with a mix of groove and melody where needed, and then it's back to pummeling you with an audio assault of fire and brimstone. And these guys are basically a vicious adventure from the frozen wastelands through blazing fires, across eternal deserts, and into the stormy tide. So there you have it. That's my review of AKA Funeral's album, Stormy Tide. Just an excellent, excellent piece of black metal. Do yourself a favor and go check this one out, my friends. I'm Jesse Morgan, and I would buy this album for glory. For Rebellion, Slammerella out.